this week's issues, which have been extremely interesting. They've been a little crazy tonight. So, Donald Trump and Nancy Pelosi are playing high school games. They're playing little shenanigans. They're playing their head games. Um, they're doing like, I got you back, that sort of thing. Meanwhile, going on in our government, we have a shutdown that has been going on for 28 days. And we have a border wall that is still not resolved, and the longest shutdown in U.S. history. And still 800,000 federal workers out of work. 2,100 federal workers in Utah have applied for unemployment. And Greg, they ain't getting it because DWS, Department of Workforce Services, informs them that they already got a job.
Yeah, well, and God bless some of the local banks and lending institutions who've created some zero interest loans so that these people can actually pay their bills.
Yeah,
If it weren't for those things, they'd be SOL at this point.
they really, but you have like a lot of banks who are helping out. Bank of America, Citicorp is hanging out with them.
Yes.
You have a lot of people who have donated their time and donated money and donated free food to help federal workers. In fact, you have restaurants now that are giving them free meals.
Yeah. And you're also, and going back to the lending institutions, one of our local credit unions, America First, is currently doing that as well. But it's, yeah, you talk about something that's taking a toll on people. You know, when you're a billionaire, you're not living paycheck to paycheck.
Right, right.
You never. In fact, the next time you were living paycheck to paycheck would be the first time you were living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. I live paycheck to paycheck, and I know how that feels. You still have Coast Guard staff, air traffic controllers, other federal employees still on the job,
Yeah.
not getting paid.
Yeah,
Again,
TSA.
yeah, you know what? Again, I don't want to take a flight right now because there got to be some pissed off TSA workers who are like, you want to take that AK-47 in? Go ahead. You want to take the hatchet in? Go ahead.
Well,
What do you got in the suitcase? I don't really care. Just store it over the overhead bag. What's in your sneakers? I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, and we've already heard reports of things that have made it onto planes and gone places. And
You know,
we're getting some highly well-traveled things. The challenge here is really boiling down to a couple of things. The first one being we've got employees who thought they had jobs that they knew that the paycheck
they
was gonna
signed up for
come
the contract. They
That-
signed up for the contract. This is what they were promised.
and this is what they were promised, and now it ain't there.
Right.
Which brings me back to something you've heard me say this half a dozen times over the years, that government is always one or two really bad public policy decisions away from watching so much of its labor
Right.
force walk away. Good luck
Yeah.
trying to replace it.
Yeah. Exactly. Because they don't make a lot of money in the first place.
Yes.
The benefits are good. I'm a government worker, but I'm a state government worker. I'm not a federal government worker who can get laid off at any time. And there's been 3 shutdowns in so many few years
Yeah.
that, what can you rely upon if you're a federal worker? Why do you even want the job to be a federal worker? And now Donald Trump is ordering air traffic controllers back to work. He's pulling a Ronald Reagan on them right now, saying you got to get back to work. So these guys are going back to work, and thank God they're going back to work because they want to keep the sky safe. They want to make sure that we're not going to have any major incidents in the air, no tragedies in the air. But damn, you got to go to work every day knowing that you're not getting a paycheck, that you're doing this for free. I mean, okay, and let me go on. Let me go on with this. I'm going to go on with this, okay?
Yeah, please.
They can't pay for medicine for their children.
No.
These kids are, some of these kids have insulin needs, they have heart medication needs, they have seizure needs for medication. They're not getting that. Some of these people are getting evicted. They're living paycheck to paycheck, as we talked about. They can't put gas in their fucking car to go to work.
Yeah.
They have to take side jobs to go to work to keep their jobs. And federal contractors, they are never getting reimbursed. It's just that money is gone.
Oh yeah.
It's gone. What do? You have a family. What do you do?
Well, and in this case, unfortunately, what you do is going back to the bad public opinion.
That we're talking about.
Well, it's one of those things. Some of the folks I've talked to have got 30, 40 years in federal service in place. If I were, even at my age, I hate to say it this way, but if I were them, I'd be walking in and handing out my retirement papers and saying bye.
If you could.
Yeah, if you're in that position, I mean, the response in this case is to do that. Now the challenge is, once those people are gone, who are you going to replace them with when they know that they're nothing more than one high school pissing match away from being furloughed?
Right, exactly. That's about it. I mean, these people are still looking for money under the table employment.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I might sell crack. I might become a crack dealer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I might become I'll tell you what. If it was my family having food on the table, the lights turned on, heat in the house, making sure that they had the medicine they needed, I might sell crack.
Well,
I'll do whatever I have to do to protect my family.
Well, yeah, you'll definitely look at black market opportunities. Drugs, obvious being the one that everybody likes to talk about, but the truth of the matter is, there's lots of black market labor jobs out there.
There are, and I don't think that dog walking or being a super shopper is going to help me.
Oh no,
I don't think that's going to put the food on the table. Being an Uber driver is not going to pay the bills. That's a part-time gig. Garage sales, basically, I got to sell my shit, like we talked about last week.
Oh yeah, basically, you're in liquidation mode.
You are in liquidation, and these people, in fact, it's really weird because, well, it's not weird because pawn shops are saying we're having the best years we are ever having. We are having a booming year because everybody is pawning everything that they own, and they're trying to get as much cash as they can possibly get, and we are buying that shit at rock bottom prices.
Oh yeah, they're making out, and the reality is on the flip side, when they're flipping that product to somebody else, what you're seeing again is the continuation of the wealth transfer away from people, away from the working class, away from small business owners, away from everybody, to somebody else that's got more money than God.
Yeah, exactly. And Trump keeps listening to fucking oxycodone addict Rush Limbaugh and the ostrich lady Ann Cutler.
Colder, yeah.
What the hell is her name? Who cares?
Ann Colder.
I don't care what her name is.
Yeah, I know you.
Fuck her.
I always like to try to get it right, though. It's that obsessive compulsive thing.
Is it Coulter or is it Cutler?
It's Coulter.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Now,
I don't care.
But the kicker is
I don't really care what
I hate to say,
these are his advisors. Sean Hannity, did I say that right? These are his advisors. These are the people who are advising him to not budge on the wall while millions of Americans are suffering.
Well, the kicker is with everything shut down, guys like Rush are going to get better access to the things they like to abuse.
Yeah.
Coulter's probably in the same boat. We all know from our little gathering last week about Trump and his over-exuberant need to actually snort Adderall.
No, he did it again. Did you see his speech this week?
Yeah.
He did a speech like, okay, let's not start that shit.
Yeah.
And,
but they were the best hamburgers ever.
Who serves fucking hamburgers for the national champions? Fucking hamburgers. So Trump is like, you know what? I spent this out of my own pocket. Fucking Burger King, McDonald's. So that only lets me know that the fucker is broke.
Oh yeah.
Because if that's all he can afford for the national champions is Burger King, Chick-fil-A, and McDonald's.
He's a dollar menu.
If
dollar menu error.
And Diet Coke. If that's all that Donald Trump can spend for a dinner, a lunch for the national champions, he's broke.
Well, yeah.
He's broke.
Well, in this case, I don't think it was necessarily that he's broke, but when you're a overgrown baby man-child narcissist who doesn't even have the common decency to think before he acts. In this case, think about it. What does he eat? He eats that.
I know, but okay, so let me just say this. What woman is going to go out with you on a date if you take her to McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, or Burger King? That date is going to be over so fucking quick. It's like, where are you taking me? A Burger King?
Yeah, let's go to Burger. Yeah, let's go to Burger King.
It's like, where are you taking me, babe?
Unless
Chick-fil-A?
unless we're dealing with, and for not to belittle human trafficking, but unless you've been human trafficked, you're not going there.
That is absolutely
I like my
nuts.
captive audience.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
And so then Michael Strahan
yeah,
did an interesting thing. Michael Strahan invited them for lobster and caviar.
yeah.
Michael Strahan. Now, if Michael Strahan can treat them to lobster and caviar, and Donald Trump is supposed to be as rich as he claims he is,
Yeah.
answer me that, Greg.
Oh, well, there's the
Answer me
simple-
that. Riddle me that,
Oh,
Greg.
Yeah, well, it doesn't take a riddle to figure out when you're a grifter. You don't have any money. Unless you
Did
have,
Russia call back in the loan?
yeah,
Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
yeah, it's called tell. I don't have any money. What I have is other people's money.
It's like, did he have to get a loan from like Jared or something like that?
Yeah.
To pay for the hamburgers and the Chick-fil-A? That is absolutely nuts. That
And
was
what's-
so...
And what gets better is when Burger King actually roasts the president
Yeah.
using their own stuff. Their own marketing crew
Yeah.
goes and sits down and goes, the home of the real Whoppers,
Yeah.
pointing at the
The
White
real,
House.
yeah, the real. And what's so sad about it, and what is really so sad about it is it's a gimmick, and it's a gimmick, and he's using these young men as a gimmick to talk about the government is broke,
Yeah.
how the government is broke. So I can't afford to cater this because the government is broke, and that is absolutely bullshit. That's absolutely bullshit. You're telling me that the government is so broke that we are now serving the college national champions, Chick-fil-A, Burger King, and McDonald's? I don't believe that for one fucking second, especially when Melania is taking her ass on Air Force One to Florida. And you know how much that costs per trip with Secret Service, etc. I just don't believe that shit. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it a little bit later. But still, I just don't. So here's the thing. This is why people are pissed off at the government. I talked to a good friend of mine this week, and she's just done with politics. And she's the one who encouraged me to develop the concept for this show. And she hates politics so much because it is such chaos that she doesn't even listen to the show. She won't even listen to the show. She'll maybe listen to bits and pieces of it, but she doesn't want to have anything to do with politics because she's so sick of how business is being done in America. She won't listen to it.
No, true. And the bottom line right now is you could learn everything you need to know about American politics at the national level by sitting down and listening to a little song by a group called Bowling for Soup. High school never ends.
Okay, you got to run that by me again. Who the fuck is Bowling for Soup?
Bowling for Soup is a group that's a group of musicians that came out a few years ago. They were actually premiered by, of all people, God, what I'm sitting here, I see his face.
Bowling for Soup.
Yeah, it's the name of the band.
It's a band called Bowling.
It's a
for
band
Soup.
called for Bowling for Soup. They're
I have
from
never
Denton.
heard of-
They're from Denton, Texas.
I never heard of Bowling for Soup.
Yeah,
Whatever the fuck
but they
are.
did a song called "High School Never Ends," and they point out all the things that they had to deal with in high school.
You're not going to sing this, are you?
No,
Okay.
no,
Good.
I won't sing it, but
Good,
I will
'cause
say
maybe I should have done the show
for
solo.
those for the music piece, go ahead and go look for that one. Google it, listen to it, and then think about today, and you're probably going to find an awful lot.
Bowling
of
for Soup. Okay.
Yeah, Bowling for
Well,
Soup.
I'm just sad because she's just tired of it, and I'm sure that she represents a lot of other Americans who are just sick of it, who are just tired of it. Now we do it because it's our passion,
Yeah.
and it's something that we love, and it's something that we want to utilize to inform people. We want to utilize this venue to inform people, but some people just are so damn tired, and I can't blame them.
No.
I can't blame her for just saying, "Fuck this! I want to go and meditate.
Well, yeah.
I want to go to yoga.
Honestly,
I don't even want to watch the news. I don't want to turn on the television. I don't want to listen to the radio, and I sure the hell don't want to listen to this guy's program."
Well, and it makes it hard because realistically, you turn on the news, you turn on the radio to the talk shows, you end up with a completely skewed view depending upon
right.
who you're listening to.
Right, right. Yeah, because it is. It is. You don't know who to trust. I can tell you now, you can trust us. Because we just give you the facts. That's it. We give you the facts. We just read them as they are, and we give you our take. Now, our take, granted, we are not faking the funk when it comes to Donald Trump's chaos, disastrous presidency, lying, cheating, everything that he's done. I mean, we're just giving you the facts. And people don't want to hear the facts. They're so tired of it. They're just, boom.
Well, it's kind of like you have.
They're imploding.
Well, the kicker is the challenge right now where you have the facts. What can you do with them?
What can you do? Again, you don't know who to fucking believe anymore.
Well, that's the truth. And you don't know what processes you can even pursue to try to get some form of remedy.
Right.
I mean, there's the Constitution, but then it comes back to the high school never-ending process that we're dealing with.
There are places that you can go. You can go to the government accounting office.
Yeah.
You can go to the office of come on.
Which one? Office of Management and Budget.
There you go. Like I said, OMB. You can go to OMB. There are places you can go to get the real deal.
Yeah.
But people are a little bit too lazy to do that. They want this instant gratification regarding the news, and they don't want to look at it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to research it, etc. Google is so easy. It's so easy if you want to be informed. And here's the thing. If you're not worried, you are not reading.
No.
If you are not worried about what's going on, you're not reading, because this is scary.
Well, yeah, it is.
And right now, especially right now, when we have these politicians that are playing games, we have House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and she asked President Trump to delay his State of the Union address, which was scheduled for this January 29th. Okay? And she just said, hey, why don't you submit your thoughts in writing instead?
Is this supposed to be a literacy test we're taking here?
I don't know. I don't know if she was like tricking him or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Was it a trick? Was she thinking like, why don't you just write that down? And Donald, let's see if you
Yeah.
can.
Well, more importantly, there's always well, and going back to my term in the Army and other places, we used to have the thing "In God We Trust." Everyone else has got to sign it. In this case, by making him write it, maybe what we're trying to do is create
he's not
illegal
writing it. You know
Yeah.
he's not writing the shit. But
Well-
so that wasn't going to be a very good trick on her part. because she
No,
knows
but
that he's not going to
no,
write that.
and you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
There's no getting around that.
You
It's
got to
gonna-
read first.
Yeah, and of course, then there's the reading. Then there's
the reading and the writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless Fox News is going to dictate it to you. I
Yeah.
guess he could have had Sean Hannity write something out for him.
Well, yeah. He could have had Stephen Miller write it. He could have had Dennis Miller write it. At least we'd have gotten something to laugh about then. But no.
The Miller brothers.
Brothers from another mother. Yeah.
So she says, submit your thoughts in writing. So, you know what? In a way, I kind of understand what she's talking about, because after you listen to his Oval Office performance, you don't want to hear the same old shit again. It's going to be the same old shit. We got to build the wall. There's a caravan of Mexican folks and immigrant folks who are coming over to rape you, sell you drugs, rob you. I mean, it's the same old shit.
Yeah,
that's what he's going to be doing. So
SOSDD, same old shit, different day.
Yeah. I don't. You know what I mean? It's really a waste. It's a waste of a lot of people's time.
It is.
He can do that shit from the Oval Office, because we know what he's going to say. We could write that speech out right now, because we know what he's going to say.
But I need to know where we're going to put the pauses in that speech.
Doesn't the teleprompter have a sniff?
Yeah, there should be a sniff rule on his teleprompter.
He says something, and the teleprompter rolls up, and it's like, okay, sniff now.
Now,
okay, great.
Now, my personal favorite would be if the guys kind of forgot to put the sniff part in there, and seeing how long he could go without having it make his face just totally start to melt.
That would be...
try to melt. You'd be like, I need to sniff so bad.
that could be a challenge. So
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like a dear friend of ours posted up here today, was talking about the upcoming speech and so on.
Right.
And I hate to say, because I'm a betting man.
Right.
You know that I'm a gambler,
Right, right.
deep down in the bottom
Right.
of my heart. Well, my comment back to my dear friend was, "What's the over and under on how many lines of Adderall he's gonna snort
Okay.
before he gives that
Okay,
speech?"
so you know what? Okay, we need to get off the Adderall thing. We are like
Yeah.
wearing that shit out. Okay.
Yeah.
So-
All right.
Okay, so let's leave the Adderall out of this. So, Nancy says her reasons for him just sending a letter in is it's a potential security concern, given that federal agencies are stretched thin, and given their furlough or unpaid workforce. Now, I don't know what she really means by this. Does she mean that a group of people are going to like charge in with weapons and shit and try to take a shot at them, or what does she mean by this? I'm trying to understand what Nancy's saying about this, given that they're stretched thin or like there's security concerns. What is Nancy trying to say? And you know what? I'll tell you what. I don't know if it was a good move by her.
No.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with Nancy, like pulling that shit.
At this point, where we're starting to get people who are stressed,
Right.
who are in these jobs, who are secret. I mean, from Secret Service on down. I mean, you don't have to do a whole lot of picking and choosing. The people who are going to be performing security inside of this room, full of senators, representatives, and the president, and even the vice president. I mean, whoever I hate to say the designated survivor might be the case.
So
just simply because
you're thinking that someone's going to be that pissed off?
well, I think
It's like I haven't got paid, so shit's going down right now.
Well,
Is that what you're thinking?
and I don't know that they shoot anybody, but I could certainly see them take over the room and say, "Y'all listen to us right now. We be the ones with the guns."
Do you think they're going to be holding hands singing "We Shall Overcome"?
Well, I
Is
don't.
that-
Yeah. Well, I
is
think,
that
I think
some
the
shit
Senate,
like
I think
that?
the
Is
Senate
that-
and those guys. Who knows? That may be the crazy. That may be the crazy side note that's going through her mind when she's saying that.
No, this was a bad idea
Oh, it was. It
for
was like,
Nancy. This was a bad idea. And I'll tell you why it was a bad idea. Because Donald Trump okey doked her.
yeah.
He okey doked her. He like slapped that shit down.
Oh yeah.
Because Nancy's like, hey, let's go on a trip to Afghanistan. And Trump's like, yeah, you can go, but you ain't using any military plane. You got to fly commercial. So Nancy Pelosi is third in charge. If Donald Trump goes down, if Mike Pence goes down, wishful thinking, Nancy Pelosi's in charge.
Well, yeah.
And she is flying commercial? Really?
Worse, she's probably flying coach.
Really? She's flying, yeah. Yeah, he's going to put her in coach. Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. But he pulled it.
Oh yeah.
He pulled it.
And as the executive, he has the right to do that.
He does have the right to do that. He like just, you ain't taking any of my planes. So if you want to get there, you better fly coach. Because
unless you can find a Mac Hopper flying from Reagan International over.
Right.
Good luck, because we ain't giving you a special trip.
That's why people are pissed off with these games that are playing. We have people who are out of work. We have people who are discouraged with politics right now, who are tired of the gamesmanship that's going on right now.
This isn't gamesmanship.
You
This
know,
is petty crap.
This you can call it petty crap. Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Gamesmanship, petty crap, sophomoric behavior, however you want to look at it. These guys are, while we're supposed to be taking care of America's business, we have people who are across the border who are living in camps.
Yeah.
Camps, children who are living in camps, unsanitary conditions. We have federal workers who are laid off, who are suffering, and these guys are arguing over a fucking airplane.
Millionaire.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, let's break it down to its even more basic component. You've got a billionaire telling a millionaire where the bear craps in the woods.
Yeah, and I don't really know if he's a billionaire. We'll just say that he is an alleged millionaire, telling a certified millionaire
Yeah, it's
where
kinda
the bear shits.
Yeah.
That's about it. So meanwhile, Melania is on a military plane during this shutdown, after Donald Trump has denied Nancy Pelosi, the third most powerful person in the United States, has denied her the right to fly on a military plane to go visit troops in Afghanistan on official government business.
Yeah.
And he's saying, "Baby, go ahead, take the plane. Go ahead, go down to Florida, get your champagne on. Go ahead, hang out, etc." I am just.
Well, it goes back to the infamous pot meat kettle. I mean, the bottom line is you don't get to do it, but I'm going to do it just to rub your nose in
And
it.
he rubbed her nose in it. So what you have is a couple of people again who just can't get their shit together.
No.
You know, they just can't get their shit together. Again, I'm baffled.
Well,
I'm baffled that they want to play these games like they're playing these games. Let Donald, again, if he wants to speak, let him speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one is going to give a shit. Who's going to tune in? The only people who are going to be standing up and cheering are some Republicans. I don't know how many he's going to have who are going to be actually cheering, but you're going to have some Republicans who are going to be cheering, saying, "Hey, yeah, good job, we love the speech, etc." It's the same old bullshit.
Well,
the Democrats, if the Democrats don't want to hear the fucking speech, don't show up.
well, and really, they're taking away a really good gambling opportunity for the people of America to make money, and more importantly, for Stormy Daniels to get more viewers on Instagram.
I know. This is true. Because I'll tell you what's okay. You know what?
Yeah.
I would bet you that Stormy gets another 100,000 viewers if Donald Trump, if she folds her clothes in her underwear like she did last time.
Yeah.
She gets another 100,000 viewers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. She
Absolutely.
could get 100,000 viewers, maybe even more,
Yes.
depending on how far she wants to just
Well,
roll.
and it goes back to on the, some of the other gambling opportunities here would have been how many people, when it comes to the Republicans cheering, the ones cheering loudly, somebody being able to sit back, because we know Nielsen and all those guys are tracking and Pew Research and all these guys are tracking all of that
Yeah.
stuff. They're watching that and they're doing the facial recognition and analysis of that delivery.
I'll tell you.
And it would be fun to have them giving us the numbers of Republican senators and House people who are aggressively going for it,
Right.
and how many of them are just kind of giving it the infamous golf clap, and how many of them are kind of going you, because at this point you could actually place bets on that stuff. And maybe there's some money to be made. Now, it's horrible to think that things have
Could be.
devolved to the point that they have. It's it's kind of like football, when people talk about injuries in football.
Right.
But it's gonna in this case, unfortunately, it's gonna happen. So why don't we bet on it and let somebody make some money?
Let me just say this. I would rather watch 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah.
I would rather watch 90 Day Fiancé than watch the State of the Union given by Donald Trump. I would rather watch 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah.
I would.
Me, I'd rather go power watch a couple of episodes of some DC or Marvel comic thing on Netflix.
I would rather watch Friends.
Yeah. I hate Friends. I'll watch
I do too. I'll watch it first.
I hate Seinfeld. For the record, even though I'll quote Seinfeld,
You can't hate Seinfeld.
I never really liked the
You
show
can't
that
hate
well.
Seinfeld. You can't hate Seinfeld. You can't hate Seinfeld. How do you hate Seinfeld?
It just it never appealed to me.
It's the
some
same.
Of, some of the sound bites were great.
Well, you know what? You
But
got a
the overall
point.
show
But,
was
okay,
better.
so you have a State of the Union that's about nothing, and then you have Seinfeld that's a show about nothing.
Yeah,
So really, it's
kind of copacetic.
it really is. You know what I mean? You can't lose. I mean, you're doing the
No.
same thing. They're
No,
both
it's
nothing
not.
burgers.
Yeah, yeah. Though what they really need for it is to go get a Festivus poll and put it up there.
Again, I just can't see I can't see any vital information that Donald Trump is going to give us. Although he is going to make a special announcement at 3 p.m. I think it's tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm like I predicted. That special announcement is he's going to declare a national emergency. You want to bet on that?
Oh yeah, I'll take that.
What else could he declare? That he's going to resign?
Yeah, he ain't.
He can't
announced
resign
it.
because if he resigns, he's going to be indicted.
Well, he can't resign because of two factors. One is the risk of what would happen to him if he were immediately indicted.
Right, exactly.
The indictment risk is too high. The second one, which is the one nobody's talking about, when you look at this week's vote, the only thing the Senate and the House voted on was, or in the case of Senate, was removing the embargoes against that one Russian oligarch.
Yeah.
That's what they voted on.
Yeah, exactly.
So if he's not there taking care of his friends, again going back to emoluments, which goes into another thing, but looking at that, if he's not there to take care of that, what's gonna keep him from getting introduced to the plutonium pellet?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah,
but
and that's the thing.
Again, I'm betting even money that at 3 p.m. a national emergency, which means he's going to take money from where is he taking money from this time?
Oh, he's going to take it from California and Puerto Rico, from FEMA.
California, that's right. He's taking it from FEMA, and that's where he's going to declare that national emergency, take the money, and he's going to try to build his wall with that. And Congress doesn't have the backbone to stop him. I don't think they can.
No.
They can't, because that's under his jurisdiction.
No, the only thing they could do is hold an emergency budget session and zero out those sections of the budget, so he couldn't take it.
Exactly.
But even at that, they're zeroing it out.
This is why we don't give the president a line item veto.
Yes.
This is why we don't do this. But again, it's a mess. It's a mess. Yeah. It's a mess. And again, going back to my friend saying how she hates politics, I get it, girl.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand 100%. I know where you're coming from. I mean, but again, it's important that at least you know what's going on, because again, for those people who are going to stick their heads in the sand, this shit is going to affect you. This shit is going to affect you. I'm going to tell you right now, embargoes are going to affect you. Tariffs are going to affect you. This is going to affect you.
Oh, yeah.
Syria is going to affect you.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to affect you, and you need to know what the hell is going on, because just because you live in Mayberry, RFD, doesn't mean that shit isn't going to hit home, and it's going to hit home.
Oh, it's definitely going to hit home. There's no question.
You are not safe. You're not safe.
Well, and in this case, safety is something that we can put a lot of definitions on. But let's just throw the easy one, because if there's always been one constant in the universe, when push came to shove, is a lot of times Americans will vote their pocketbook. At this point, those pocketbooks are getting, as you pointed out earlier
pocketbook.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to have a pocketbook first.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do it.
Yeah, there's no pocketbook.
And since I had to sell it to pay my rent,
yeah,
tell me what I'm going to use. But in this case, I think simply put, economics. I mean, you still look at where Wall Street is. Yeah, we're starting to see I'm calling it a dead cat bounce right now, with the Dow and the other averages, where they're bubbling back up somewhat to about the Dow's at about 25,000 again.
Right.
But realistically, as these first quarter epiphanies continue to occur, we're going to see that go the other direction, because again,
absolutely.
Because tell me what are you going to it's not like you have money to go to the store and buy stuff. People, right now, think about it. That car, like I was telling you a couple months ago, the car I bought now is $3,000 more for the 2019 model than it is the 2018 model.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Tariff.
Yeah. I gotta say that. Yeah, my Jeep. Hell, I'm gonna get more money probably than what I paid for it.
Yeah. That's kind of how.
Not probably not, but close.
Well, that's the thing is that whenever a consumer commodity that you're going to depreciate because you're going to own it, you're going to drive it, you're going to do things with it. Anytime it starts retaining value in these instances, that just became a problem.
Right.
We're going to start seeing those sorts of gluts occurring in our economy, and as those things continue to proliferate, at that point, it's kind of like the housing market in Utah. Everybody talk about, well, we don't have any affordable housing. It's like, yeah, you've basically got to be El Chapo to buy a house.
You have to be El Chapo
to buy a house here.
You really do.
Yeah, and that's kind of
that was very well said, that you have to be El Chapo to buy a house. I mean, because right now it's like you're not going to be able to buy a house.
I mean, I understand that there's a thing called a first world problem, and it exists. It's real, but I also realize the fact that, tell me how many people that can roll out of the rack tomorrow, get a good loan at $400,000.
You cannot do it. You can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
No.
In fact, I just applied for a loan to buy a house.
Yeah.
Just applied for a loan to buy a house. I can work one. I can work it, but what is it going to cost me a month? I don't know if I want to.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like the 2-bedroom place I'm living at right now. Instead of having to get like a 4-bedroom place for what it's going to cost me a month, I can qualify now.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to.
Well, and that's really it. Is, you know, when you think about it, all these folks talking about, well, there's this, and this, and these are the price points. It's one of the concerns that I know that CDC Utah, Habitat, and others have talked about quite. I almost want to go to the point of ad nauseum of the fact that they are at a point that that the good deeds that these organizations have done, and it's been a lot.
Yeah.
And for them to be stuck between a rock and a hard place right now and trying to help people who are really trying to better their lives.
Yeah, and how do you do that?
And how do you do it? How do you do it in today's economy?
Yeah,
the answer
you just can't.
I mean, you can't go turn around and
right.
and hand somebody a $150,000 mortgage on a $300,000 house.
Right. It just doesn't work. Michael Cohen.
Yeah.
Michael Cohen is in the news. Michael is in the news, according to BuzzFeed. President Trump instructed Mikey, his personal lawyer,
yeah,
okay, to lie to Congress about the Moscow Trump Tower talks. And so BuzzFeed breaks this out, and they're citing 2 federal law enforcement officials involved in investigating the case. So here's the deal, is that Mueller is not going to trust the word of a known liar, Michael Cohen. So it leads me to believe they got some serious shit on Donnie.
Oh yeah.
They have some serious shit. You know what I mean? Because he's not walking into there, and they're not leaking this stuff.
No.
Unless they have FBI people do not go on, oh well, Michael said this, so it must be true. No, he has documents, he has documentation, and I wouldn't be surprised if he had tapes.
Oh no.
I would not be surprised if he has recordings. And so then, you know, according to the online news site, Trump backed a plan that Cohen set up to visit Russia during the presidential campaign and to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin about the tower negotiations, which Vladimir Putin was going to get like a $50 million penthouse. Right, yeah. Right. So he's up here like negotiating this shit, and Donald's saying, we don't have any negotiations. We're not talking to Russia. There's no business going in Russia. I have nothing going on in Russia. And he's lying his ass off. And if he gets busted, it's not collusion, folks. It's obstruction. It's obstruction. If he's telling them to lie to Congress, that's obstruction. Yeah. And if they can prove it, he's in trouble.
Well, yeah.
And there's 2 legal terms that you can use for this. Obstruction or you're fucked.
Well,
those are the 2 legal terms you can use for this whole thing for Donald Trump. It's obstruction and or you're fucked.
Well, yeah, and in this case where he didn't bother to divest when he walked into the White House, you're also dealing with the fact that that at this point he used his position as a candidate and other factors to financially better himself. And that's the that's really it. And that's when you start breaking it down. I mean, I hate to say it this way, but his greasing game that he played with Vladimir Putin to get his Trump Tower in Moscow, in the Russian business world, completely normal, unfortunately.
Right.
It's normalized.
Right.
In our system, yeah, everybody kind of goes, whoa, time out.
Right. Right, but this goes beyond Donald Trump. This also involves Ivanka and Jared.
It does.
And Jared, he is like waist high in this shit.
Oh, yeah.
He is waist high. And Donald Trump Jr. is waist high in this shit. And they're going to be calling his ass back to testify in front of Congress. And they're going to ask him, now that we have this documentation, you want to give us that story again? You want to go ahead and tell us the story again, Donnie Jr.? Tell us. Go ahead. Let's walk this whole thing over again, buddy.
Well, and in this case, if I recall correctly, when they brought him in the first time, they weren't sworn in. which is where
I thought they were sworn in.
No,
Okay,
they
okay.
weren't sworn in, because a lot of times Congress won't swear you in because it's considered that it's implied that you're going to tell the truth.
So what's going to happen is, when they swear him in, he's going to have to tell the truth this time.
Exactly, because if he doesn't and they can prove it, now you've got lying to Congress.
Yeah, and they can prove the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Michael, who we know lies,
Oh, yeah.
Michael Cohen, who we know is a liar, bona fide liar. He has some shit.
Oh yeah.
He's giving them the documentation because Mueller is he's a witch.
Oh yeah.
He's a witch.
Well, and he's a guy who has the kind of experience in looking at these things and knows how to put it together. But one of the things that was brought up by Bernstein in his book,
Right.
Fear, was the fact that based upon his history, it isn't just that he's going to go get the convictions. At this point, he's actually trying to figure out what legislative remedies do we need to provide Congress and others to make sure we don't repeat this.
right.
And if people are worried about the delays, I'd almost go so far as to say the delays are justified, simply because if that's what he's doing, which has been his history,
Right.
then that's what we're looking at, and that's what we can expect moving forward.
Yeah, my only concern is I don't want Congress fucking it up. And that's, I mean, when Congress starts to get into it, everybody wants to be a rock star. Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, who else is running that we know up on there? Everybody wants to be a rock star.
Yeah.
So everybody is going to be trying to muck up the investigation. My suggestion to the Senate is shut the fuck up. Let Mueller get finished and then present his report. My suggestion to Congress is shut the hell up, let Mueller finish the investigation, and give you concrete proof regarding what's going on. And I don't want to speculate, because right now and stuff, everybody's doing a lot of speculation, okay? We're talking about, we had a lot of talking heads who are saying, okay, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. What we're doing right now is saying if this happens, then that is going to happen. We're not saying that they have that, but
No.
I am saying that, damn, I can't see Mueller
No.
I can't see
No.
him putting out Michael
and-
Cohen without having some type of hard concrete evidence that there's some shit that went down.
Well, and when you look at the fact that just the sheer number of indictments that have already been levied, this number of convictions that have already been put on the
Right.
books, this isn't one of those situations where, as the president would like to tell everybody that it's a giant witch hunt. Is it really, or are we dealing with something that actually is more pervasive, more degrading, degrading.
Oh yeah, you were making fun of me.
No, I'm making fun of me.
Okay,
for,
yeah, with
for
my
butchering.
what was that? 'Cause
I just pulled some word
what
salad,
was that?
folks.
What was that?
Sorry
What
about
was the name I just fucked up here?
Yeah.
What name was that? I just-
discombobulate.
No, I didn't. No, it was something else. I just
Oh.
fucked up. Somebody's name that you
Oh,
called
yeah.
me. Who's
That was
Coulter.
and Colder. Yeah,
Is it Coulter?
Coulter.
Is it Coulter or Colder?
Coulter.
I thought I said Coulter.
No, you said Cutler.
I didn't say Cutler, did I?
Yes, you did.
I'm not even gonna listen to the tape.
Yes, everybody, go back to the tapes. Tell us which one got it right this time.
Okay, it's Coulter.
but it's word pros. It's
An
in this
ostrich is an ostrich is an ostrich. Let's just
Well,
put it
yeah.
that way.
case- Yeah, well, some people look like.
Have you ever seen
ostriches.
anybody who's had a neck that long?
No.
I have never seen anybody who has a neck that long. That is the longest neck I have ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Well,
That is, I mean, you know what? She could look over fucking 6 foot fences with that neck.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And and actually feed off some grass and let that neck go down there, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Her
she didn't
neck
have
is
to-
larger than her body. She has a 5 foot body with a 7 foot neck.
Yeah, that's a good line. Yeah.
It's the truth.
Well, yeah. Well, and
It's
more
the
important,
truth.
but more importantly, tell me,
She's a
like-
giraffe.
well, and a very uneducated one at that, which is the scarier
Oh my
part.
God,
The
the way
people
she-
actually listen.
I don't really give a shit because the way she's talked about Obama, I don't really give a shit. So think what you
Well,
want
yeah,
to.
she lost her credibility a long time
Yeah.
ago, but
She
unfortunately,
knows when she lost her credibility is when she started like dating JJ from Good Times.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's when she
Could you
lost her
ima-
credibility
could
when she
you-
started dating
Could you
JJ.
imagine? Could you imagine what those kids?
Oh
would
my
look
God!
like?
Holy shit, that scares me.
Yeah,
That scares me.
Yeah, see, you just scared me.
That's an alien thing.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
scary.
Yeah, it is.
That's something that should be like an
Yeah.
outlawed, or something like that should be against the law, and culture.
And Jimmy J.J. Walker.
And Jimmy J.J. Walker should not produce.
Oh no, no.
They
I
should not
think they're
reproduce.
though I think both are finally at an age that we
Oh, my
probably
God.
don't have to worry about that. We may have all
That's
dodged the proverbial
that's like a
bullet.
scientific study there.
That's worse.
That's
than
like,
scientific study.
what's this? What is? You know, I don't. You know,
Yeah.
That's like I don't. Okay, I'm gonna get off of this because that would be just one. As Arnold Schwarzenegger said, in what was it? Alien. That's one ugly motherfucker.
You one ugly one,
That's
yeah.
one ugly motherfucker.
Yeah.
So when we get back to this and we start talking about Michael Cohen and we look about and we talk about impeachment and the possibility of impeachment, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. I think they might if they have the documentation. But Greg, what did Richard Nixon get charged with?
He got charged with lying to Congress.
Perjury.
Yeah. It was perjury. Lying
It was
to
perjury.
Congress.
He got the fuck out of there before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a perjury. And what did Bill Clinton get impeached for?
Lying to Congress.
Perjury.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Mueller, again, it's not going to take the word of Michael Cohen, again, who's a known liar, without documentation or recordings.
Yeah.
And again, this involves Jared Kushner. And you know what? I hate to say this, but that's somebody who I'd like to see go to jail.
You know.
For some reason, you know what? I wouldn't feel bad if he went to jail. I wouldn't feel bad if Donald Trump went to jail. I wouldn't feel bad if Ivanka went to Trump, or Ivanka went to jail. I don't think Ivanka's going to, but Jared, I'm kind of hoping him and Donald will go to jail. Both of them.
Well, it might be interesting.
That would be good. You know, I don't want Donald to go without Jared. I want them both to go to jail.
Well, now in this case, I want Donald and Jared to go hang out with Jared of Subway.
Yeah, that would be kind of good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jared got killed in prison.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so they're not going to be
that's
hanging
what-
out with
no.
him. Yeah, nice.
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, that's not going to
But
happen.
it goes.
But having said that, Suge Knight
yeah.
is still available. Suge Knight's in. He's still in jail. He's still in prison. That could be interesting.
Yeah.
But Jared, for some reason, Jared Kushner just rubs me the wrong way. He always has. It's like,
Well, it goes back to all the same bad business practices
Yeah.
that Donald was doing in his businesses. It's the same, going back to same old shit, different day.
yeah,
In this case, he's just all he is a clone version, because the two Trump boys are too busy out living the high life. I mean, I hate to say it this way, but if you really look at that whole family configuration
Right.
at this point, Kushner's the one grooming to be taking over running the Trump empire.
I guess so.
Him and Ivanka.
So-
The boys are just going to be off playing and
Yeah, Donald Trump Jr. doesn't give a shit. He just wants to like sit around and snort cocaine and hang out. That's
He wants to hang out. He wants to go
and
go find
shoot
girls.
and shoot like endangered species.
Yeah.
That's his deal. That's all he wants to do.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel I love Tom Steyer.
Yeah.
And let me get to Tom Steyer. I think Tom Steyer is wasted a lot of money because I think Donald's going to do his job for him. Tom Steyer has been trying to impeach Trump forever and ever and ever and ever. And I'm just saying, I think Trump is going to give him that on a silver platter. I think that Tom Steyer has wasted. I think he spent about $30 million.
Yeah.
$40 million.
It's the last number I saw was 30.
Yeah,
It was
$30
a
million,
little
$40 million on
little
trying to
north.
impeach Trump.
Yeah.
And I think he's wasted his money. I think Tom Steyer could have like saved that money. He could have given it to me for a radio station,
Yeah. That would have been nice.
a progressive radio station that he would have
Yeah.
enjoyed,
Yeah.
instead of like wasting that $30 million on something that's going to happen anyway.
Well, it's one of those things that Steyer being a bit of an entrepreneur, sort of, I mean, I don't necessarily consider hedge fund guys that, but I do certainly consider the fact that there's a little thing called patience is a virtue.
Right.
And if you give some people enough
What's
rope,
patience?
they will actually.
What's patience?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
yeah.
I don't know anything about patience.
But it goes back to if you give some people enough rope, they'll hang themselves.
Right.
And in this case, Trump's doing a good enough job of rolling out the rope.
He is infamous for doing that. It was only a matter of time.
Yeah, the math was against him.
It was only a matter of time because he went out there and it's like, you know, again, I could just say whatever the shit I want to and no one's going to care. And if I say it enough times, no one's going to care. And then if I say it enough times, people are going to become immune to what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It's like I can go out and shoot people in the street and I'm going to be fine with that. You say that enough times, after a while, people don't want to hear that shit.
No.
People don't want to hear it. And you're going to fuck up after a while.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because you're actually going to try to do the shit and see if you can get away with it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I can see him going out there, you know, and taking out like a 9mm and shooting somebody to see if he can get away with it.
Now that would be classic in the fact that would he try? I could see him trying. I'll agree with that. But given this is the fact that it's Donald Trump, he's going to shoot himself in the junk. He's going to shoot himself in the knee. He's going to shoot himself in the shoulder before he shoots anybody. He probably
would. He probably would. I could see that, or else the bullet's going to ricochet.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the.
It's a ricochet situation.
Yeah, and that's it. Is that he doesn't have the background. I mean, it's one of those things.
He doesn't have the capacity to be a human being, and that's the problem with Donald Trump. He doesn't have the capacity to be a human being. He doesn't have the capacity to be empathetic towards his common man. It's just all about fucking Donald. That's all it is. It's all about fucking Donald. No one else cares. No one else matters. It's all about Donald.
Yeah.
And it's going to catch up with you. Karma always catches up with narcissistic people. Karma always catches up with people who are me, me, me. Karma always catches up with you when you don't give a fuck.
Well, again, going back to, at some point, you get enough rope.
Yeah, you will. You get enough, and it's, you know, and this isn't exclusive with Donald. This happens with everybody. You know, I mean, there's a lot of people out there who are going to be, you know, walking into, or who have walked into, because of their attitudes, a karmatic shitstorm.
Oh yeah.
And Donnie is getting ready to walk into a karmatic shitstorm, and it couldn't have happened to a better person.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to enjoy this. There's going to be so many people who are going to enjoy this. You know what's so fucked up about it? Is that we don't want a bad president, folks.
No.
We want a good president. We don't want people laid off. We want people working. We don't want tariffs. We want to be able to build our economy. But unfortunately, some crazy ass motherfuckers voted for him thinking that they were going to get a bill of goods, which they haven't gotten. Those same people who have voted for Donald Trump are the ones who are getting screwed right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that I want good roads to drive on.
I do too.
I want storm drains that work so that the roads don't get flooded or people's houses don't get flooded. I want good street lighting. I'm a really boring person, by the way.
Yeah, well,
as you can hear it. I think I just saw three people just doze off.
Yeah, you're giving us a clue of that.
But in this case, all those things are things government provides. In the case of the federal government, all the things like TANF, WIC, and all that. And the notices went out the other day.
Right.
Yeah, here's your payment. We're giving it to you early because we have the money now.
It ends in March.
Exactly.
So these single mothers who are trying to provide for their children, who don't have the skills, because they've been left high and dry by a lot of single fathers, and other circumstances, they're going to have to go to the Salvation Army or try to find food somewhere, their local church or something, because that money runs out after February.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to last that long, because again, I think that Donald Trump at 3 p.m. is going to declare a national emergency and everything will be okay. He's going to get his wall, but it's going to get pretty sticky and pretty nasty after he does that. It's going to get pretty sticky and pretty nasty. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about Steve King. I don't know if we have the time to talk about Steve King. It looks like we're coming up on the top of the hour. And what I'd like to do is maybe play a song, check in with Aaron's mom, see if she is available, coming back for our next hour. We are going to right now, I think, because last time we did this, our program, we had a really good program, and we got turned off by YouTube because we played like music. So we're going to cut off right now from YouTube. YouTube. We're going to use this probably as a podcast episode. We're going to go straight to Facebook. We're going to turn on some music. And so then we'll catch you on Facebook, YouTube, if you're listening out there, folks. We will see you later. Switch to Facebook. Check us out on YouTube for this broadcast if you want to review it and see if I actually said Cutler or Culture.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a break now. Let's do some music. We're going to get away from YouTube.